What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. Happy TIMBP Live. Welcome back to another week. I'm Perry. Coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky. Hope you've had a wonderful week. Sometimes I just get a little like static shock from my microphone if I'm too close to it or if my lips are too moist. As I lick my lips. Apparently what I said is not allowed on YouTube. What did you say? I'll try typing it in a different way. I don't know what you said. Shy guy. Look at that purty meowth. It is very funny that I can understand why the alternate version of that is not allowed on YouTube. That can be a little weird. Be a little weird. But here in this community, we understand. We understand what you mean. The alternative version is purdy. Well, yeah. I understood. I understood what you were saying. Oh, man. That went through. Okay, so the first time you tried that, it didn't go through. I don't know. How's everybody doing tonight? How's your week been? Anyway, drinking my Barrel Pick 114.16 5-year from West Fork Old Hamer. Ooh. What's everybody been up to? I drank all my other good stuff that isn't super fancy, allocated, expensive shit. Fair enough. Y'all smelled different when you're awake. Hello, Tony Bagadone. That's good to see you. Hold on. To flip my phone around. Hi, buddy. Watching my buddies play 40K. Been learning 40K last couple of weeks. I have never gotten into Warhammer. It's something that I have a blind spot on. But I have good news so far. If you watched last week, I brought up that there is a chance that if the government doesn't reopen, I will likely get furloughed and lose my job. The bad news is the government has not reopened yet, if you have been keeping up with it. There were supposed to have been 2 votes this week. I know for sure that there was one on Tuesday, and there was supposed to have been one yesterday as well, I think. And neither of them passed. But... Oh, I don't trust CBS right now. But anyway, I have not been furloughed. I still have my job. That is to say that is just the state of things at the moment. Who's to say how things are going to look? We'll see how they look over the next week or so. But it's good news on my front at the very least. I explained it a little bit more in this week's episode of the podcast, which, by the way, You know what? I'll talk about the podcast in a second because there were some things about it that I had to do. But still got your SSDI check. Nice. That's not to say that you'll get one next week or this week, honestly. Unless it's a monthly thing, I'm not sure. Anyway, I explained it a little bit more on the podcast that like I am a state employee, but my program is federally funded. And once a month, okay, fair enough. Sorry. But. We only have so much funding. And without there being the federal side of things to, kind of regulate those payments, it's, kind of is falling through. So anyway, it won't, it's just hard to tell what's going to happen. It's hard to tell what's going to happen. So we'll see. I'm not opening that one. Yes. What are you gonna do? But all that being said, I'm okay at the moment. I still get to work and collect a paycheck, and that is all I can say about that. Otherwise, though, personal news: our oldest, Eden, turned 5 yesterday, which is craziness. Hang on, I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna show off my cutie, my little sweet girl. It's just it's very hard to believe that we have a 5-year-old now. I'm just kind of blown away by it. But anyway, there she is with her beautiful mama. Her beautiful mama. So, emotional week as well. I got a little. Time flies by very fast. You're correct. Got a little emotional last night as I was laying down with her before bed. But it's been a good week. It's been a stressful week, but it's been a good week. All that being said, where are you? There we are. Let's get something poured. What's everybody drinking? I know what. Who's the pretty lady? She's taken. Man, I really did marry up though. I've been going through a midlife crisis at 31. I think it's because I have everything I could want, and now there's nothing but drifting till the end. Just enjoy having that, man. Perry's the pretty lady. I am the pretty lady. Also, if you are watching on the replay, thank you so much. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you are watching live and you want to support the show, please hit the link at the top of the pinned comment. It takes you to a Stream Elements site. Those Bellamy's are some lookers. They are all very attractive. You are correct. For Snuffy Chats. We call him that because of Snuffleupagus, the patron saint of TIMBP Live. He's our boy. I believe, you believe, we all believe. Starting out by pouring batch number 7. Can't subscribe any harder. It's not really for you. Shy guy. And also, if you're watching on Twitch, you can sub for $6 a month. Get some emotes, get some ad-free viewing, all that good stuff. But starting out with batch number 7, this is the take specific, or the, J, Take Whiskey. Exclusive batch to celebrate 10 years of Take. Haven't had a rare character yet, unfortunately. You should absolutely. Jay's batch was, what was that available on Sip Whiskey? I think. Can't remember for sure. Eventually it was the Bourbon sub is obsessed with it. I love the rare character stuff. I, of course, knowing the guy who blends it and all that, I'm very fortunate to have an in. But as I say from time to time, I try not to make all my content about rare character, or else it would just be the Rare Character Podcast. But I haven't had a chance to try most of these batches yet, so I wanted to do it for a live stream. Batch number 7 is quite good. It is a 118 proof whiskey. Let's look at the other stats. And this is coming from the Rare Character website. One of the shortest RCLR bourbon batches we have done, 25B7, delivers where it needs to, and that is on taste. Aged 6 to 9 years, this blend of Kentucky and Indiana straight bourbons are all very well married together to create flavors, nuances, and a finish that none of the barrels alone could do. We stopped because it felt right, and sometimes that is the best decision. Utilizing a small amount of wheat bourbon with some Kentucky and Indiana high rye bourbons, 25B7 touches all parts of the flavor wheel to be as enjoyable as possible. And there you go. We'll get into the news here in just a second as well. We don't have as much news. One of the, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not last week. One of the unfortunate side effects of the shutdown is that the TTB, I think I did mention this actually, now that I think about it. The TTB is also closed, so there are no new filings with the TTB. So we don't have any new labels to talk about this week, but there's a fair amount of news. We'll get into it. Little bready, little cakey, little fruity. Very nicely balanced. Having a maker's flight, you know those box sets that came with 375s. I have 3 of those private selects. One of them has mocha. Oh, it's Bourbon Knight's pick and the Lost Recipe mocha. I saw that Lost Recipe mocha recently and considered picking it up. I kind of feel like I should have. It's not even that, like, mocha was my favorite stave, but there's something about the novelty of having that bottle where it's like, I got something really special here. You know what I mean? This is a fantastic sipper. Creme brulee. I mean, creme brulee is like the dominant note. Some very light spice. Good amount of alcohol. Heat. Just very good. I like it a lot. All right. Let's start. Let's start in on the news, y'all. Elijah Craig Old Fashioned Week is back this year. We are actually in the middle of it this week at this very moment. I did not realize that it was on the horizon. I picked a lost recipe at Costco and now discovered the little guy with the mocha stave too. That's awesome. Did not realize when I streamed last week that we were right on the cusp of Old Fashioned Week, but as I am speaking to you right now, you have 3 days left to celebrate it, which means if you haven't made an Old Fashioned yet, you still have time. So I will be trying to celebrate Elijah Craig Old Fashioned Week before time is up. I am here's the thing too. This weekend is my sister-in-law's bachelorette party weekend, and so my wife will be gone pretty much all weekend. So this might be a dry 3-day stint for you, boy, because I will be on very, very strict dad duty. And yeah, so maybe I might get the chance to have an Elijah Craig Old Fashioned. We'll see though. Fingers crossed. But it runs October 10th through the 19th. Elijah Craig donates $1 for every Old Fashioned sold during the week, up to $100,000 to bar and restaurant workers in need. Last year's event helped the Southern Smoke Foundation provide 760 free mental health counseling sessions through its Behind You program, along with $40,000 in emergency relief grants to hospitality workers nationwide. Since launching in 2020, Old Fashioned Week has raised nearly $500,000, for organizations such as the Southern Smoke Foundation, which provides mental health and financial aid to those in the food and beverage industry. This year's celebration expands internationally with events in Canada supporting the Bartenders Benevolent Fund and in the UK benefiting the Drinks Trust. And if you want to find a bar that is participating, you can head to oldfashionedweek.com. My mic is like especially static shocking me, and I think it's because I've got this sweatshirt on. So, oh my gosh, my work phone. So part of the shutdown rules is that we cannot answer our work phone. I don't know if we are being inundated with spam right now or if it is the same unidentified number that has called us no less than like 6 or 7 times tonight. But we literally cannot answer our phones right now. And literally my work phone just rang. And my work number is also tied to my actual phone. And there's just nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. Thanks for reminding me. I want to do a mocha old fashioned. Had that thought earlier and it slipped my old mind. Joe, the sample guy. Cheers, all. Cheers to you, brother. Hope you're having a great week. Very good to see you. Another piece of exciting news that is going on at the moment and running through Halloween. Actually, it's coming up in a couple of days. Buffalo Trace is offering some self-guided, not necessarily like ghost tours, but some evening tours at the distillery, which is pretty awesome. They're going to be open to include some tastings, some cocktails, things like that. They also have an actual event that is taking place on Halloween night that is going to Here it says, for those looking to add a bit more haunt to their Halloween night, the distillery is offering a sweepstakes for one lucky winner and a guest. Both must be 21 plus to tour the grounds alongside paranormal investigators dinner, a one-night stay at Albert Blanton's former home, Stony Point, a distillery tour, and round-trip airfare and transportation to and from the distillery. You can enter at this website. It's Buffalo Trace Distillery, Halloween.com, if you would like to do that. But if you are around and you want to come and do this, it's not free. It's a $35 ticket, and it's a self-guided walking tour. But you get three cocktails, one neat pour, a snack, and a 1 liter bottle of Sazerac rye, and a tote bag. So, not bad. Not a bad little event to have at Buffalo Trace. I have heard stories from tour guides at Buffalo Trace of seeing ghosts at the site. There was one in particular that tells the story of seeing Elmer T. Lee in a rick house, and he was checking on barrels. Now, whether there's any veracity to that story, I cannot be sure, but it's an interesting story at the very least. It's fun to hear be told. Speaking of interesting partnerships or interesting things that brands are doing, Wild Turkey is partnering with Binging with Babish founder Andrew Rhea. I am a fan of Binging with Babish. If you've never seen it, I think I talked about it last week or a couple weeks ago or something on the live stream. They're working together for a Friendsgiving campaign that is focusing on giving back. They are donating 101, get it, $1,000 to the FarmLink Project, which is a nonprofit that connects surplus farm crops with food banks worldwide. An estimated 25% increase in household waste occurs between Thanksgiving and New Year's, said Aidan Riley, Chief of External Affairs of the FarmLink Project. We're grateful not only for Wild Turkey's generous donation, but also for the partnership with Andrew, whose positive influence extends far beyond the culinary world. Andrew loves bourbon, too. I would love to get Andrew on the show. Not just a live stream, but an episode of the podcast. It goes back to what I was talking about with Sean Evans a couple weeks ago, that now that there is like a connection with the spirits world, it just makes sense. Did Andrew talk about it on his episode of Last Meals? I feel like he did. Like being a bourbon drinker. Is he sober, actually? No, he's not sober. I watched that first one. Sean Evans does not give a shit about spirits. No, it hit me that he's not sober, because he actually drinks on his episode of Last Meals. I'm pretty sure, at least. Hang on. He was just in Louisiana impounding Sazeracs? That's awesome. Yeah, he drinks a Sazerac in his last meal. Or is it just... Hang on. I'm probably going to get clapped for this, but...
Oh, thank God the bourbon's here.
Oh,
cheers.
Cheers.
Jesus. So here...
Garrison Brothers? He said he normally hates absinthe, but in New Orleans he loves their absinthe, and Saz is one of his favorite cocktails. I love absinthe. But the fact that they drank Garrison Brothers on his last meal.
So here we have, you left the bourbon choice up to me. Oh, God, that's good. So this is Garrison Brothers 94.
Well, he let Josh pick. That's the problem. He let Josh pick. Anyway. One of the last meals recently had them buy a rare expensive wine, which he's never had but wanted to try. Really? I'm behind on last meals, so I need to get caught up. WP, what's going on, brother? Cheers to you. Hope you're doing fabulous. I'd make them get a Pappy 15 or something rare and expensive too. It's funny. But they developed alongside Andrew the Wild Apple Pie cocktail. The seasonal twist on a classic cocktail highlights an ingredient currently in abundance among farmers. Friendsgiving is all about coming together and sharing great food, but as it kicks off the giving season, it's also an opportunity to make a difference. The full recipes below. We'll get to it in just a second. You can also enter for a Friendsgiving dinner with Andrew in New York City at iHeartRadio.com/wildturkey. And the Wild Apple Pie cocktail recipe is Andrew Santino's last meal was the rare ass wine. I've got to watch his last meal. I love Santino. I bought one pour of Cowboy Bourbon and have never felt the urge to spend hundreds of dollars on Garrison Brothers. The Wild Apple Pie is 2 parts Wild Turkey 101 Bourbon, half part ugly apple syrup, and 2 dashes of aromatic bitters. Strain over into rocks glass. Garnish with a dehydrated apple slice. I'm not going to go through the recipe for the ugly apple syrup, but here it all is. Take a screenshot, go to the Bourbon Lens site and find this if you would like to. It's too much to go through, man. He went and did that Saudi. Oh, he did do the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Sounds pretty nice, but I'd want some citrus to balance it out. That's completely fair. Not great news, but news to be expected nonetheless. U.S. spirits exports declined sharply in second quarter. Sorry, I couldn't find my water. I think this is to be expected with the insanity that were tariffs earlier this year. What really was what it was more surprising rather was the actual number that came out from this report. Nowhere is this shift more pronounced than in Canada, where U.S. spirits exports plummeted 85%, falling below $10 million in the second quarter of 2025. So now a comic you like does the Saudi Fest. Hey, WP! With a $10 Snuffy chat, more diapers. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Always need the more diapers. And if you also want to support the show just like WP, hit that Stream Elements link at the top of your chat that is pinned right there, or head to the one that is in the description below. But thank you, man. I appreciate that. U.S. spirits sales in Canada declined 68% in April 2025, whereas sales of Canadian and other imported spirits rose around 3.6% each. Canada removed its retaliatory tariff on U.S. spirits on September 1st, but the majority of provinces continue to ban American spirits from their shelves. Canada remains the only key trading partner to retaliate against U.S. spirits. U.S. spirits exports experienced notable declines across all key international markets. Exports to the EU, the U.S. spirits industry's largest market, fell 12% to $290.3 million, while exports to the U.K. dropped 29% to $26.9 million, and those to Japan decreased 23% to $21.4 million. 5-year-olds don't need diapers? No, but 1-year-olds certainly do. My 1-year-old does. Diapers. The second quarter data shows double-digit declines across several spirits categories, including American whiskey, which dropped 13%, vodka 14%, rum 6%, brandy 12%, and cordials 15%. So not great. But again, to be expected, how the market will actually try to turn things around to adjust for it in domestic territories is to be determined. But my guess is, as some of these tentpole brands are experiencing cooling, and as they are seeing the effects of tariffs and larger impacts of exporting their brands affecting their overall market value and their overall shareholder value, we will likely see an increase on prices at the domestic level. So we shall see, though. That's probably something that will happen within the next, I don't know. If it does happen at all, it likely would be within the next 12 to 18 months at that. But let's talk about some new releases that happened this week. Our friends at Pursuit have got a new Pursuit United. It's Kodama Mizunara bourbon. Limited edition 117 proof whiskey blending Japanese Mizunara oak finished and infrared toasted American oak bourbons. $90 a bottle. I missed my chance to grab a sample of it, but it does seem like people are loving it, and I kind of wish I had the chance to grab one. The name Kodama references tree spirits in Japanese folklore, honoring the oak's role in whiskey production. And also Japanese Mizunara oak, known for its rare and high cost, contributes exotic spice and dry, woody notes to the blend. The infrared toasted American oak component delivers intense vanilla character and sweetness. Cast strength bourbon is blended to taste rather than formula. So there you go. If you want to go check that out, hit up our friends at Pursuit. We got a new release coming from Old Commonwealth next week. It is D.H. Cromwell. This is batch 2. 15-year bourbon. Spent 10 months in finishing barrels, which was twice as long as batch 1. It's 105.5 proof and $299. Okay. A lot of money. A lot of money for an NDP. But it is what it is. We'll see. I have not had the chance to try anything from Old Commonwealth just yet. But I mean, who's to say what any of it actually is like? So I need to ask some friends. We just got the announcement yesterday of the next installment of Russell's Reserve Single Rick House. This is supposed to be, and this is Camp Nelson E, by the way. It's the 4th edition. And it is the highest proof so far. Let me find this proof because I cannot remember it off the top of my head. 128 proof. Let me just say, it is so nice to have anything from Turkey coming out above 120 proof, especially because we know that those products exist, at least in the... I was at Pursuit on Whiskey Row, but Kenny would not let me lay on his lap or touch him at all. Sounds like a skill issue. Kyle! See me after class. I'll put you in timeout again. But this time it won't be on accident. But we know that these barrels of turkey product that are above 120 proof exist out there. And it's just nice to know. Sounds kinky. What did I miss? Elijah Craig Old Fashioned Week, Buffalo Trace Spooky Tour, Turkey and Babish, export of U.S. spirit sales declined, Pursuit Spirits, Kodama Mizunara, Old Commonwealth's got an overpriced bourbon, and now we're on Single Rick House Collection. Could have made an old fashioned or Saz tonight. This one's also $300. I have always found the Single Rick House Collection to be overpriced. I really don't understand the price point here. And I have never been given a good explanation as to why. $300 turkey, what a surprise. I've never been given a good explanation as to why this is $300. I like Master's Keep, I can kind of understand. I can kind of get why Master's Keep was $300. It's the very top of the line product that Wild Turkey offered. But because it's turkey, I mean, it's Campari is what it really gets down to. But this particular product just doesn't make sense to me. The one or two times that I've had Single Rick House, it's been good, but it's not been anything that has warranted me picking it up over, especially at this price, picking it up over a Russell Single Barrel, especially a really, really good Russell Single Barrel. I cannot justify it at $300. I'm still waiting for somebody to answer me. It's not. Wait, what? Oh, never mind. I don't even know. Does anybody know how old this is? See, that's what I'm saying. What's the age? And yes, Campari does suck. Man, it is crazy too. So, speaking of the suckage of Campari, there's this whole press release, and usually that's not a good example. Dog, my work phone is ringing again. Keep overcharging for bourbons and see what happens. Burnout is real. I have a 10-year reserve, I bet goes toe-to-toe. It's $300 because there are enough morons who will still buy it. I mean, for sure. Let's look at something. Sorry, I'm looking for something very specific here. This is probably not a good... Okay, so even Sazerac. Do you notice the difference here? What's Campari do with this press release? I just think the market is starting to just say no. But the thing is, WP's right. People are still going to buy the Single Rick House. I think the average consumer is starting to say no. But I think that there are people who like it tailors to very specific people, and I understand that and I get that. I just don't understand, like, in a time when age statements are starting to come back and transparency is starting to become the norm for brands, this just ain't it, man. This just ain't it. Okay. I'm pointing out something very specific here, and this is, as we are hyper fixating here on Campari for a moment. The very tail end of this press release, right, is typically where you talk about the brand, that you are putting the brand release out about Campari Group. Campari Group is a major player, blah, 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 blah. Campari America. Under Campari Group, one mention of Wild Turkey. Under Campari America, one mention of Wild Turkey, American Honey, Russell's Reserve. Sazerac talks directly about the Antique Collection and specifically about Buffalo Trace. I think collectively we have a higher distaste for Sazerac than we do Campari. And Campari is showing themselves to be way more out of touch than Sazerac is in many capacities with the actual consumer market. I find that really interesting. You love Campari? Oh, the liqueur. Well, I'm happy to hear that for you, Shy Guy. Anyway. Switch to your second or even third accounts and like and subscribe. Campari is way worse. Sazerac is just controlling demand. I mean, for sure. I'm not a big Boulevardier guy, but I mean, yeah. I wasn't paying attention at all to the ranting. I just heard Campari and had to chime in. All right, let's move on. The newest big release. I say big. I don't even know if it's really considered a big release, but I did get a massive box from Heaven Hill for this release. When I got the notification, I went on like a whole crash out rant about it on Patreon. How I got this UPS notification that I was getting a 21-pound box from Heaven Hill, and I had no idea what it was. But it was this new limited edition version. Who dis? Tony Joey. Speaking of which, I was on a work trip in Ohio and made it home with a couple Weller 107s for retail. I can't believe that it's still showing up in Ohio for retail. I mean, it's pretty impressive that it's still showing up at all. Number 2. Yeah, a couple is even crazier than just like one bottle. But anyway, this is not just the Heaven Hill grain to glass. This is the limited edition version of this year's Heaven Hill grain to glass. It's the 2 bourbons and the rye, finished in Chinkapin oak. They are each $130 a bottle. They're 6 years old a piece before being finished. 700 mils. each. The bourbons are 105 proof and the rye is 107. When I first opened them, and I also opened them on an Instagram live stream, if you would like to go watch it, it's shared as a reel on Instagram. I initially liked the rye. I think I still like the rye the best out of all three of them, but the high rye bourbon has grown on me quite a bit, and the wheated bourbon is still fantastic. I mean, it's actually a really solid trio, but if you're going to get any three of them, I would highly recommend getting the rye. Crotch shot grain to glass vibes. I went one night on a whim that the OHLQ site was legit. It was. Went back this morning, and they still had some, so I said, why not? Love it. I have a select stock Chinkapin. Reading. Good. Doing it. Fantastic. But yeah, it's a really interesting release. They also sent along with it a hang on, let me switch camera angles. Grammar be doing bad today, my bad. Oh, it's all good. They also sent a coaster, which I've been using. And they sent a Glencairn, which I've been using as well. So, 21-pound box. It was crazy. Why am I yawning? Beam has announced a cast strength Old Overholt 12-year-old rye whiskey. 20-pound box, and all I got was 3 bottles of wood water. Hey, man. Sometimes you need some wood water in your big box. Beam be beamin'. I'm excited for this release. I think that this could be really good. If it's actually one set, I think this could be great. 117 proof, 12 years old. I'm excited for it, even though it is $111. I don't know. They're like, let me drop the 10-year. Womp. Maybe the 11 will be better. Womp. Oh, maybe the 12 is actually good. We'll see. I'm not overly confident, but I am excited to try it, at least. And the last bit of news is that there is no more news because the government is shut down and there are no more TTB labels. So, we can't talk about what is on the way or might be on the way yet. So, oh well. More time for drinking. Hey, shutdown's ruining my life too, okay? I might lose my job. You can go your own way. Cover the great Guy Fieri tequila heist? What? Okay, you realize that one of the outlets that has covered it is New York Post, right? And Van Halen News Desk. But he single-handedly ended. It's Spirit Talk, though. I knew I couldn't trust a guy named Guy. What did he steal? He didn't steal anything. He got, apparently... Wait, hang on. 24,000 bottles of tequila stolen. Hang on. I'll fix it next time. How thieves stole 24,000 bottles of Guy Fieri's tequila in a highway heist. There's an actual 60 minutes bit on it. Last November, 2 semi-trucks carrying more than $1 million worth of Santo Tequila, a brand founded by Food Network star Guy Fieri and former Van Halen frontman Sammy Hagar, disappeared on its way to the warehouse. If you're wondering how in the world that much tequila can just vanish, we did too. It was his brand new Extra Añejo. Same guys that did Westland. Tequila Highway House sounds like a great song title. Well, bring it up with Sammy Hagar. Guy, I'm going to scroll up so Guy Fieri's not peeking at you over the banner at the bottom. Guy Fieri got a crash course on the sophisticated high-tech theft after a sobering call from the president of his company. Well, when the president of your company calls you and says, "We have a problem," what's up? And he goes, "You're not going to believe this, but we lost 2 truckloads of Santo Tequila." I said, "Elaborate on lost." He says, "Well, they disappeared." I said, "Well, wait. Is this a hijacking?" I said, "Are the drivers okay?" I said, "Is this..." Because all my mind goes to is Goodfellas. That's what I'm thinking is happening. And he said, No. The trucks, they were appropriated, but we don't know where they are. I'm like, it's not a needle in a haystack. I mean, this is a semi-tractor truck. My mind is swimming in exactly how do you lose, that many thousands of bottles of tequila. Sammy Heistgar is incredible. Incredible work. It's Guy Fieri, so no great loss, and good evening, folks. Just popping in on a quick break at work. Donald Rance, it is very good to see you. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you for stopping by as I cover one of the weirder stories I've ever talked about on this show. 24,000 bottles of tequila, enough alcohol to fuel a lifetime of bad decisions. What a weird bit of editorializing on this story. On Friday, 2 after the shipment was supposed to arrive, the trucking company started sending more excuses about why it was late. So the tequila is late, but you don't think anything's wrong because they're sending emails. Dan Butkus, yeah. We don't think anything's wrong. We're a day or 2 behind delivery. And meanwhile, they track these with GPS. Sharon Alfonsi. So someone's checking to make sure the truck is where it says it is. And on GPS, it looks like Butkus. Exactly. Alfonsi, it's in D.C. where they say it is. Butkus. Then on Monday, we get an email that the truck is close. GPS says it's within a couple miles of our warehouse in Lansdale. Can you let us know when it arrives? The tequila never arrived in Pennsylvania. The signal was spoofed. This is wild. Alfonsi, do you think you were being targeted? Fieri, well, there's a side of me that still says, yeah. It wasn't a truckload of screwdrivers, It wasn't a truckload of baskets. They were coming across the border. Someone knew what it was, and tequila is a hot commodity. That's why Keith Lewis called it in. He's a former cop who runs operations for Veris CargoNet, a company that works with law enforcement to solve these kinds of crimes. Lewis says last year, U.S. businesses lost more than $230 million of goods to physical heists and those engineered online. Alfonsi, let's start with the tequila case. How common is something like that? Lewis, it happens multiple times a day. Alfonsi, how does all of this impact consumers and the prices they pay? Lewis, 100% falls back on the consumer's shoulders. 100%? Lewis, we pay at the pump for this. We pay at the grocery store, at the point of sale. Lewis started investigating and began to piece together how the tequila heist was pulled off. He says the criminals created fake online profiles of trucking companies, bid on jobs they suspected might be valuable, and hired unsuspecting drivers online. Then, instead of sending the drivers to the Santa warehouse in Pennsylvania, the criminals redirected them to deliver the shipment into their hands. They did the Pappy heist wrong. Who cares about the diners, drive-ins, and Arts Biscuit Chef's tequila? Don't sugarcoat it, Donald. I mean, this is an insane story. I'm invested in it. I'm not going to read the rest of this. It's a lot, but they did the Pappy heist wrong. That's my takeaway. Oh man. Guy Fieri is legit a good dude who's done a lot of good for the world outside of memes. He is. He is a good guy. I will stand by that. All right. Let's get this flight going. So, if you have not seen, and I don't know if you're just here because I go live every Thursday night and you don't care what it is that I do, you haven't checked the actual title. I'm drinking through batches 8, 9, 10, and 11 of the Rare Character Limited Release bourbons. We'll talk about the bona fides of them in just a moment as well. Wife is at a work party, so I'm chilling. I'm going to get a glass and an ice ball. Time for the mocha old fashioned. Ooh. Sounds like a good time, Tony. Where's the thing? There's the thing. I'm going to have more whiskey now. Oh! I had something I wanted to talk about, too. This is real quick. If you listened to or watched this week's episode of the podcast, you may have noticed that there was a weird bit of the audio that started around 33 minutes and 50 seconds. And it went until 40 minutes and 56 seconds. And then it just stops for whatever reason. I have fixed the audio version of it. So in your podcast player app, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. That is fixed. I cannot fix the video version independently of like the everything that's already on there. Without deleting the entire thing and re-uploading it and redoing my entire episode. Why is my nose tickling so bad all of a sudden? Sorry. So if you want to just skip over the busted audio, again, it starts at 3350 and it ends at 4056. Or you can just listen to the audio version and you won't have to deal with it now. Or you can join the Patreon and get early access to the episode every week, which is uncut and unedited, and there's bonus content for Patreon members from the $5 and up tier. And you don't run into that issue for some reason. I think there was something with my encoder. Nobody cares about this. I'm going to move on. So let's take a look at the batches that we're going to be drinking on tonight. Batch 8 is all Kentucky bourbon, 121.8 proof, 6 to 15 years old. Let's see. Doesn't give a breakdown of the types of bourbon that are in there. Batch 9. Oh, it's just the general descriptors. Batch 9 is Kentucky and Indiana, 117.5 proof and 6 to 15 years old. Batch 10 is 118 proof, 6 to 10 years old, and is all Kentucky. And then batch 11 is all Kentucky bourbon, 123.48 proof, and is 7 to 15 years old. So we got 1 Kentucky Indiana blend and 3 Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys. So, of course, we're going to be starting with batch number 8 and then working our way through. Now, as most of you all know, many of you all know, I am friends with Chad at Rare Character. He does the blending of these batches. And there has not yet been a Pear Bear batch. There has been a Whiskey Mutant batch, which I don't remember. You didn't know that. You're right, Kyle. You had no idea. There has been a Whiskey Mutant specific batch that was to his taste buds, to his preferred tastes. And I don't think one has been made that leans more heavily into what I like just yet. So I'm still trying to find a way to get Chad to make that happen. But that being said, though, batch 8 is so dark. Kyle, did we try batch 8 when it was in totes? I don't remember. Eight and 9? I don't particularly remember 8. But I think that's because it's changed quite a bit since then. It's dark. It's fruity. Light hint of caramel. Oh my gosh, the shutdown's got to end soon, man. I miss hearing the mutant messaging just doesn't cut it. I know. You and me both, Tony. I haven't seen Eric since he left the show. I haven't gotten to see him since he left. I talk to him all the time, but I haven't seen him since then. Hint of peanuts. Hint of peanuts. But predominantly like chocolatey. Chocolate and oak, I would say. I forgot to call in and rage. I was waiting for it. Instead, I got a sweet one from Jared. Nine is a citrus bomb on the nose. Holy moly. Rage Against the Perry. Busy week, first time taking you know what's funny is I read breath as bath. Wait, where is it? I read breath as bath for a second. What's your measurement for simple syrup? Quarter or half? I do half. So equal measurement, water and sugar. Whiskey Sensory Shenanigans. Hello, Michael Schneider. Good evening, all of you wonderful whiskey people. I jumped in for a moment before I head to the airport. Family headed to New York for a couple of Broadway shows. It'll be my 23-year-old son's first time. That sounds awesome. Oh, quarter ounce or half ounce. Oh, my bad. I thought you were asking like when you're making the simple syrup. Quarter ounce for sure. Yeah, you don't want to go too heavy anymore, and it's too sweet. Michael, I hope you guys have a great time. Sounds fantastic. No, I didn't mean half ounce of simple with half ounce of water. What I thought he was saying was when you're like making your simple syrup, how much water and how much sugar do you use? I just misread everything. Your grammar may be bad, but my reading comprehension is in the toilet. Citrusy. 2-to-1 syrup when I make it, though? Really? Is it even simple syrup, then? I thought by definition simple syrup had to be 50-50. Donkey Shane, Autumn in New York. That sounds like a song. Man. 2-to-1 is known as rich simple. 2-to-1 is the standard. It seems it makes a shelf stable. I'm learning tonight, all right? Okay, so simplest simple syrup is just 1 cup of white and 1 cup of water. White granulated sugar, 1 cup of water. More complex simple syrup. Rich simple syrup is 2-to-1. Brown sugar syrup, it's Demerara. Honey simple syrup. Bar simple syrup. The syrup is so called because bartenders can make the sweetener in minutes without a stove. Combine equal parts of sugar. Go away. Did I ask for you to... This syrup is so called because bartenders can make the sweetener in minutes without a stove. Combine equal parts of sugar and water in a bottle. Shake until the sugar dissolves completely. This method makes a much thinner, almost water-like syrup. I just dip my finger in the cocktail and stir. It sweetens it right. Bro. Fancy flavored, which is like infused or rose or gingerbread. Okay. I did not know about rich simple syrup. Actually, we're gonna save that to the bookmarks. Cuz sometimes you just need to have a little guide for yourself, you know? Batch 9 is citrusy and floral and bright. It's so interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. I locked in on that unrich simple syrup. I'm learning. Dog, I might be dyslexic. Good night, everybody. I'm so dyslexic, I can't even say the word right. I said dyslexid. I read an entire sentence that didn't have the word lemon in it, and I put the word lemon in the sentence. And nowhere on this page does it have the word lemon. Am I hallucinating? Is that what it is? Let's go. Let's go. Let's move on to batch 10. What's the proof on batch 10? 118. It was 118 proof. And now we're getting to the point of the stream where I just lose everybody and they start making they start making jokes in chat. Lamenting lemons, learning lemurs. All right, batch 10. Life hands you lemons, you make dyslexia. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling with that one, Kyle. I'm having a real tough time with life hands you lemons, you make dyslexia. Makes sense since you're dyslexic. I'm going to move on. This has a lot of like ripe fruit on the nose. A little bit of tobacco, a little bit of baking spices. Hating on learning and processing disabilities is wild. I'm so sorry. No. I'm not actually dyslexic. I'm hating on myself because I was like I was struggling to read something. Or maybe I am and I'm undiagnosed. Who's to say? Who knows, man? Who knows? You know what I keep getting? I keep getting Midwestern confused confirmation. I keep getting suggested like Facebook reel for like, what if you're an adult and you have undiagnosed autism? And it's like, dog, what is this? Like, come on. What happened to my algorithm, man? Like, I used to get suggested cooking videos. We should all drink something a Chad made. I have its Bourbon Nights Maker's Pick sitting here. Oh, you could make its Bourbon Night. You could make a mocha old fashioned with its Bourbon Night cocktail syrup. Or it's Bourbon Night Maker's Pick. A fine old grab Fortuna Barrel Proof. A little old fashioned. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you've had a great one. I foolishly used my own ingredients. What I truly meant to say was use it's Bourbon Night Maker's Pick and it's Bourbon Night Old Fashioned mix. That would be a true it's Bourbon Night Old Fashioned. Batch 10 drinks like Heaven Hill to me. The Old Fashioned mix is incredible. I actually need to get a bottle. WhiskeyAmbitions.com. What is... Ooh, it's sold out right now. I want to buy more. It's Bourbon Night cocktail syrup, but they're out. Please apply appropriate pressure to Chad Perkins for me as I'm too far away to twist his arm. I'll see what I can do. It might be a you know, I don't know if they're going to make more either. I mean, who's to say? That Chad guy. Those Chads. There's a chance it wasn't really a Chad thing. I'm doing it now. I keep having to come back to batch 10 because I'll take a sip and I'll forget what I just drank because I start talking. I said that it reminds me of Heaven Hill. It reminds me of Heaven Hill. It's very like caramel syrupy. A lot of butterscotch too, especially on the back end. There is a lot of leather, dried tobacco. It's kind of like being in a humidor, almost, especially on the finish. Not bad, man. Bit of Bernheim barrel proof in there. It's way better. Get the new Chad in the shed with a cauldron, paddle, oranges, and simple syrup now that he went over the recipe to make some more cocktail syrup. He could do it. I'm sure he can handle it. All right, batch 11. Hold on. Chad usually puts quite a bit of fruity notes into his blends. At least on the nose. This one's 123.48 proof. As I said before, it's 7 to 15 years old. I love the general copy that they put under everything. Our limited batch bourbon represents the pinnacle of our barrel program, a careful marriage of some of the finest barrels we have discovered on our journey through America's most storied rickhouses. Each barrel was chosen for its individuality, bold aromatics, layered flavors, and unique character. When combined, they create a whiskey greater than the sum of its parts, offering depth, complexity, and balance that simply cannot be achieved alone. Michael, I don't just do that with my water glass. I will do that with my with the microphone. Like if I'm holding a microphone while I'm recording a podcast, I will do it with a microphone from time to time. Why do more when same do same? Why do more when same do same? This is going to sound really specific. And part of it is because I just had Mediterranean food. Batch 11 smells a lot like baklava. Just like Middle Eastern and Mediterranean baking spices and sugar and fresh fruit too. Pistachio and honey, kind of, yeah. It just speaks to my soul. my Mediterranean olive skin. and raisins and love. Chad does put his love in every batch. I've watched him do it. He told me not to say anything about it, but I gotta figure out what's going on with my hair. It's driving me crazy. Daggum. Got a little bit of a Twitch audience. Thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't followed yet, please do subscribe if you would like to as well. Oh, and they're dropping like flies. And they're gone. Vaguely mysterious response from Perkins on restocking. Perhaps. What's wrong with your hair? You could get a haircut? Nah. Sounds like good old Perk. It does sound like Perkins. You know what's funny? Batch 10 does kind of have like a chai tea. No, ever so slightly. But it's still like surrounded by, I mean, very classic bourbon flavors. I've never done chai tea and bourbon. I really want to now. I mean, of course, I've done like bourbon and coffee. I've done, hot toddies. But curdled chai tea. I mean, you could do it without milk. Can't you? What if you did it iced? No milk, no love? Ah, you're right. I would do it iced. I am not a hot drink person in general. Like, I am an iced coffee drinker. I prefer, like, unless it is better to, like, if I'm trying to recover from something. Like if it's better for like my throat to drink hot tea, I'll do that. But more often than not, I will drink like a cold drink. Isn't saying chai tea redundant? It is, because chai means tea. You're right. Hot black coffee in the morning is God's greatest creation. I'm an iced Americano guy. I'm a cold brew guy. I'm just through and through. I'm weird. Bitter and acidic is intended. I know. I get it. Yeah, I'm gonna try an iced chai with would iced would help it stop from curdling, wouldn't it? Or maybe I should maybe I should just abandon the idea altogether. That kind of sounds like a better idea. so I don't, waste time and or money. Probably both. Do it in post results. Fair. All right, let's go back through and let's find a winner. Oh. 8 is so good. The winner's me. What? Really? Thanks, Con. Thanks, man. Nine has mellowed out a little bit. It's not as like bright as it was when I first opened it. It's a little bit. It's still a little bit herbal and floral. I mean, it's still definitely in like the in the citrus range. I think Kyle meant to type the wiener as you. That's fair. I will accept that. The finish on 10 is incredible. That's typically what I do around here. Can confirm. Can confirm. It is neck and neck between 8 and 11. I only cause mayhem. I just try to keep everything together best I can. And even then, it doesn't always work out too well. Whether in my personal life or online. Yeah, 8 and 11 are very close. Pretty sure it was 8 that we had in the back area of the warehouse. I think so too. And I think 8 is my winner. The finish is what eked it out over 11. I remember the darkness. It is extremely dark. I mean, it is as close to what a like a This Is My Bourbon podcast batch would be honestly. It's phenomenal. Now I got to figure out where 10 and 11, or excuse me, 9 and 10 go. Ooh, Tony, that looks like a good pour. Tony just sent me his hold on. Look at that. I can't. Oh, I can. Ha 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 ha. Perfect. That's what I was thinking of. All right. Not that I, needed to rank these or anything, but having fun doing it. Hey, Papa Ritter. Hi, Dad. Oh. Ten over 9. 100%. I like 9. I love 10. I am in love with 11. And I want to marry 8. Nice. The butterscotch seems amplified. There you go. None of what I said made sense right now. Little FMK action. Yeah, that's kind of what it got down to. Unintentionally, but those were the vibes. I feel like I did have something else I wanted to talk about on stream. And I cannot for the life of me think of what it was. Ooh. No, I'm going to save that for next week because I forgot that I saved that. I'm not done yet. I need to make a mental note that I want to talk about that next week cuz that is scathing and not a good sign for a distillery that we have been talking about for a while now. Top Shelf Dustin, what's up, brother? Good to see you. How you been? Talk about what? Here, I'll show it real quick. Is the barn hiding forever? No. Uncle Nearest is losing stores and cutting prices. Remaining stores sold 88% more bottles, but the brand lost 5,200 locations and cut prices 6.5%. This was a report from Whiskey Decision back in September, at the end of September. They lost over 5,000 stores. And the price of their bottle dropped about $3. $4. So that I mean, like I said, we'll look at it more in depth next week. But seems YouTube is filtering my comments about FMK plus Handy. Hey, it's not my fault, man. Time to zip up the suitcase and bounce. Y'all have a wonderful night. Mike, I hope you guys have a great flight. Have a great trip. Enjoy Broadway. Enjoy the Big Apple. Tell, I don't know. Tell this statue I said hey. I want some nose clips to avoid the smell of New York after 8 p.m. No, that's where all the good stuff is. That's the culture, baby. I'm smelling here. I say that. I've never been to New York. I've always wanted to go, though. Take in the sights, the sounds. I'll give you regards to Broadway, and then I'll remember you in Herald Square. Where does he come up with these things, man? It's crazy. It's crazy. Just imagine what a trash day is like in Kentucky, but now there are 20 million people in the city, 2 times the size of Lexington. It smells wonderful. Trash day in the summer. Trash day in the summertime. You guys remember the old ragtime song, Trash Day in the Summer? Hot times, trash day in the summer. Everything smells like a real bummer. I might be getting some of the lyrics wrong, but it's all right. I'll dig it up. We'll play it next week. It's not on streaming anywhere. I'll have to dig out my vinyl and I'll have to convert it to an MP3 and then we'll play it. We'll play it on stream next week for everybody. But you know it. You know it. Lyrics are always up for interpretation. Oh yeah. Now that's what I call music. 1933. Just ask the guys from Motley Crue. It's like how I Am the Walrus was. It's like how I Am the Walrus was written just to confuse music critics about the meaning of the lyrics themselves. the blend of all four, tastes like marshmallow, gummy candy, and milk chocolate. So Halloween night when you're a kid. I'm in my geriatric UK rapper music era, but I guess we can go old school. Trash day, hot day in the summer. It was a real head bopper. It's when it was only legal for your head to go side to side. You couldn't go any other way, and God forbid you bounce both knees. Don't even think about clapping on the beat. It's when it was a real society. This is not a great blend. I'll leave. Clap those cheeks. That was another song. That was a different that was another ragtime hit. What am I? Whose line is it anyway? Clap those cheeks. Ah. Oh. I didn't see that Ace Frehley died. What? I didn't see that. I'm sorry. These are going to be stuck in your head all night, and I'm so happy. I did not see that at all. I'm so sorry, Dad. Dang. Here I am goofing, and I'm sorry. Just want to pinch Perry's cute little cheeks. I was just listening to Here's to the Losers because it's about me. Jeez, man. Nope, I completely missed that Ace Frehley passed away. R.I.P. Someone get Perry a man hug. I just feel bad because my dad posted it in the chat that the guitarist for one of his favorite bands passed away. Real men kiss their bros. And I just completely missed the message. He texted me to say that I think you missed that I posted it in the chat. And I did. I just completely missed that message. So here we are. Hello, Emily Chambers. It has been a long day. I was never a Kiss or Ace fan, but still sucks. R.I.P. Big Guy, the legendary triple humbucker. Les Paul will live on. I always love the triple humbucker. D'Angelo 2 this week. Diane Keaton passing away. Just a crazy week. Fred Gilbert was playing me some Kiss album cuts I never heard. They had some cool stuff. Well. Triple humbuckers is wild. Dane is a huge D'Angelo fan. I love D'Angelo. Every time I hear him, I get reminded of how much of an icon he was. Strutter's the best song from Kiss. I'm going to pour some more at batch 8. And, well, Strutter, but you open with Deuce. Taking notes for my Kiss tribute band. Have you guys ever seen the Kiss tribute band that they kind of like, they just don't take themselves that seriously? Strutter, but you open with War Pigs. But they wear masks. And they always like go out in the audience. And there's one like meme video where they try to get a guy to like an old man to sing Rock and Roll All Night, and the guy doesn't know the song. How's that rare character doing an old fashioned? I don't know. How's that rare character doing a boo? The Paul Stanleys? Oh, here it is.
And then you sing it back to us. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. Hold it!
Hang on. We gotta run it back. Wait a second.
Party every day. Hold it! Is he an auctioneer? Give that guy one more shot over there. Kick it off, boys. Come on. Wanna rock and roll all night. Party every day.
I'm not a Kiss fan.
Wanna rock and roll all night. And party every day.
Rock and roll every night, all day.
Roll all night. And party every day.
Wanna rock and roll all night. And party every day.
One more. Rock and roll all night.
Oh man.
Party every day.
And roll all night, all day.
So it's very clear that this is being performed for like for like a VA. And whoever's on the planning committee was like, these guys definitely were old enough to like Kiss, right? I love how the minimum age of the crowd is 55. I was this many years old when I learned Kiss did this song? Really? All right, I got to run it back one more time because this is the funniest thing in the world to me.
Every day. Hold it.
It'd be fair if you'd asked me to name a Kiss song, I'd have just tapped out. That's fair. All right. Thank you all so much for watching tonight. We're going to get out of here. Hope you guys have a great week. I think I'm on next. Yeah, I'm on next week. I was almost off this week. Guys, you guys got a bonus one. I will see you next week. I hope you have a great one. Stay safe out there. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. See you real soon. Until then, I'm Perry. This is TIMBP Live. Have a good night. Bye.